It might seem like there's nothing joyful during these times, as you know, it's certainly one of the darkest times we've all had. I mean, unless you're born in the 1800s. But is it possible to find joy? In today's episode, we're joined by one of the most joyous / comedious. Is comedious a word, Jeremy?
Comedious Jeremy.
People we know, and we talk about it here on the Table Talk podcast.
Nice.
Hey,
what's up? What's up?
Right off the
man.
bat, that
I
rich
miss you
voice.
guys, man.
Oh man!
Oh, what a sweet voice! It's a sweet the voice.
Wait.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Table Talk podcast. Today, I think maybe you got to start it with your new catchphrase of the day. How do you start the morning?
Morning. Let's crack, dude.
We need to get it on the shirt. You really need to get it on the shirt. Please get it on the shirt.
There are plans.
Please get it on the shirt.
Oh man, guys, how's things been? We are bordering on the precipice of August, guys. It's the end of July at the time of recording. Yeah. Half a year has gone by. We are smack deep in the crevices of MCO question mark.
Truly, it's been 2 months, man. But before we continue, we have someone with us.
Yeah.
The sweet voice you heard. The person who misses us the most. Ladies and gentlemen, he needs no introduction. But if you don't know him, check yourself. We've got the one and only Ernest with us today.
Yay. Wow, I got live audience.
We're streaming to a group of 50k right now.
Nice lah.
Oh man,
oh my
what's up, man?
Ernest?
Nice. What is up with you guys, man? Like, we live so nearby, but we don't see each other.
So close.
Address leaks right there.
You find one, you find all.
No. What have I done?
Oh man. How are you? What are you doing, dude? How have you been? How have you been?
Wow. How do I describe it? I'm perpetually tired. Yeah.
No, that's a good way of putting it, dude.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. That's good.
That's a good way of putting it.
You have to be, you have to be alive to be tired. So that's a great sign you're alive.
Physically, mentally, emotionally, that's all you, right?
Oh yeah, all of them.
Spiritually and sexually, that's all tired, bro.
I got the full package. I included promo code, everything already. Delivered straight to my doorstep.
Oh man, dude. I mean, if you guys don't know who Ernest is, you obviously, I mean, we'll tell you guys more about it, but you've obviously have seen some of his work. We just came out of EMCO, guys, right? You guys know, right? Like that
apparently we have.
That was the most passive aggressive, like, oop, guess we're done. EMCO done. We're over. And I'm like, what was the record? What was the condition for EMCO to be dropped? We dropped 500 cases from 13,000 to 12,000 something, right? And really, what has changed, guys? What do you feel has changed from EMCO to MCO again?
Just to be clear, right? There was no requirement for when the EMCO drops. It's just a 2-week period to
it's just a 2-week period.
Case.
No, but it was a 2-week period that ended up being a 2-month thing, right?
No.
It was 2 weeks.
This was just EMCO is the targeted one where you're not supposed to leave your thing, but because Klang Valley or Selangor is such a big place, we can't really do that in localized region.
You see, we don't even understand.
Yeah,
that's the point, right?
Yeah, I lost track. I totally lost track.
Like, what was the difference? There was no difference, basically.
I love how it was like, we need to stabilize the cases. Looks like we're stable around 13k now. We can drop EMCO.
Yeah.
That was my first reaction also. Like, 500 cases dropped. Like, all right, guys.
This is work has been done. Open up!
Oh, that's mad. I mean, okay. And for once, guys, finally, Singaporeans, we love you guys, but we finally can talk about Singapore again. Because, for the longest time, really, they've been the shining light, seriously.
Dude,
and,
respect.
We always, I mean, we keep in touch with our Singaporean friends, some of them. And we're like, wow, damn, they're out there, they're walking about. They open dining out already and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And but I have to say, it is really a reminder. Yeah, it just takes 1 or 2 people to be selfish. Go to
in
KTV,
this case, a couple of handsy uncles going to KTV. That's a spike, right? So Singapore, I I don't know which one is more like ludicrous, right? Like a couple of horny uncles disrupting the entire nation, or the government self-sabotaging themselves. I don't know which one for us. Like Malaysia or Singapore, it's a win-win. It's a win-win.
Okay. But comparatively, we are still worst off. Like,
of course.
We're finally...
We're still number one. That's all I'm saying.
We're still number one.
We're still number one.
Malaysia boleh.
You know, for the longest time, Singapore has been X3 us, but finally, guys, we are X10 of them, X100 of them.
Look at us, man.
Maybe X100. You know, but you know, since we all here are quote unquote entertainers, you know, for a lack of a better word, we are.
It's a real weird.
This reaction is the best.
It's a real weird word to use.
It's a rough term, guys. We've been trying our best, I mean, as much as possible to help or to entertain people during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've always been wondering, this is something I have found myself in, an existential identity crisis at this time. How in the world do we find joy in dark times? Like dark, not duck, okay? Dark times, okay?
Gelap, yeah?
When there's a dark time.
Waktu yang gelap,
You know, and we were like, oh, if there's anything we want to talk about that has successfully found joy in dark times, it is this series on social media going around known as COVID Ball Z.
Yeah.
And if you already didn't know, Ernest is the author and creator of COVID Ball Z.
So even prior to COVID Ball Z, Ernest is a number one comic artist in Malaysia.
Number one.
You may know him.
No lah.
Yeah, number one selling in popular bro. So
Times 3.
Top 10 lah.
Top 10. Okay, top 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Modest, this guy. You also know him as Bro Don't Like That Bro. The bro behind Bro Don't Like That Bro. And there's a Facebook page. There's a Facebook fan page. There's a huge following, right? And Ernest is also a content creator. We were with him back in the day making YouTube videos with Dan and stuff. And so the creative aspect of Ernest, it's very vast because he's also an actor. He's done a couple of like series, and he did the RTM series and like an iFlick series.
Oh my gosh,
you're so talented, and like what is like, how do you wake up every morning and look in the mirror and be like, dude, this guy damn talented? You know, like, walk us through the mindset.
That's mad.
Hey, how you know?
I can see you every morning. That's how close we live. I see you talking to the mirror.
Hi. I can see him there. I don't do that, but that's a very weird way to put it. I don't know, man. I just get up and I just feel like, hey, let's do some work lah. You know,
Where did it start from? I mean, we all know the first episode happened, right? But what made you start creating this in the middle of nowhere? Like, where were you at?
So that's interesting, right? Right now, walk us through the change as well. Because at the start, right, it wasn't COVID Ball Z. It was if Malaysia was an anime, right?
Yes, correct. It started off like that.
And as of the recording right now, just an hour ago, actually, Ernest was just released part 43.
The longest yet.
Which is nuts, right? So like Megan's question, like what made you start and what the smack made you continue it up to today?
I think the time when I was doing the first before COVID War Z, when it was called If Malaysia Was Anime, I covered the whole political turmoil in Malaysia at the time. And I made like Mahathir and Azmin play Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yes, I love that so much.
Mahathir didn't want to end his turn.
Yeah, love it.
So when
I
drew
the
that
nonsense trap cards all come out.
Reverse
I
trap,
don't even know how you go. I don't even know how Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh. So I just
roughly
lah. I just went to say Yu-Gi-Oh rules. Then like, okay,
you kind of got it.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
So I was actually at the time I was shooting this RTM series in Kedah actually.
Oh, I remember that too.
Then in between I was like, then the whole political thing happening, right? And then oh no, that was before the Kedah thing. Okay. So I was drawing that.
Yeah.
And then after I was done, I just like, okay, tell you what, because I think at that time, it was really confusing. No one knew what the smack was going on, right? The political thing was so confusing. So I just thought like, hey, let's simplify it. But what is something that everyone can relate to and everyone can understand?
Yu-Gi-Oh!
And
comics.
Anime. It's just basically anime. And I know like my friends like me, I know he's an anime freak as well. So I like, okay, people love anime, so let's try to like anime it like so that it's easier to understand.
Yeah.
So I drew the whole thing in a Yu-Gi-Oh! In the anime and with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Themes, and then I just uploaded. Then I went to Kedah for my shoot, and that shoot was like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
About 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And then that was when the COVID was like encroaching upon our shores already. And I remember on the second last day of shoot, they announced the first ever lockdown.
Yeah, you just made it back only at that time, I think, right?
Yeah, I just made it
Just
back.
making it back, yeah.
Yeah. And I think and then when that happened, when I just made it back, and the atmosphere was so strange for me. I felt like I was in a post-apocalyptic Malaysia already.
Yeah.
Because when I arrived, at the moment I didn't land, I traveled by van lah, and I arrived back KL, and I see the streets were empty. Because I was in Kedah, I was in a kampung, so the streets memang empty one. There's no, I did not know the gravity of how deserted the place would look like lah. I reached back, and I remember it was just silence. I felt like, whoa, this is KL now.
Yep.
I went back, and I just like, okay, I guess the political turmoil story has shifted to a COVID story.
Correct.
So I drew COVID arrive, and I admit the design is very similar to Pico and a mishmash of Piccolo and Frieza.
Yeah.
Because I did not know, I was like, let's whack a character, like, okay, then simply draw. And then it became a hit. Then I'm like, oh shit.
What do I do now?
What do I do now? Then, and people keep asking when's the next episode, because I made the mistake of putting the to be continued at the end.
That is
It seems like you're still making a mistake. Just saying, there's always there seems to be always a to be continued, right?
I never learned my lesson.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And that was basically it.
Yeah.
That was basically it.
I think I was at home. I couldn't go out, and I was like, hey, let's try to animate this incident as well. Because I animate the whole political turmoil, the Sheraton move, and everything. Brought the COVID thing. Okay, let's animate that shit up.
Yeah, correct.
Man.
Yeah. I love that. So if you guys have been following Ernest, you will know that his earlier comics is a lot of like growing up stories about childhood or even like early youth days, right? And then like stuff that goes on a regular basis, people stealing other people's parking slots and stuff like that. Stuff that happens, like I would say pretty lifestyle topics, right? But then this shift, right, has made you also, we were just talking about this before we started recording, right? Like it's pushed your artistic skills and abilities. It's made you do things you've never done before. And we were just asking Ernest, like, what happens when you get like, so tired? He apparently takes a 20-minute break to not just break, he practices more art, Like, what the heck? Why?
I guess it's relaxing.
Yeah.
Like when you practice the art, and then when I draw on the tablet and I see the lines come out, I was like, oh shit, this is the stroke style is therapeutic lah. So just it's a way to relax lah. But apart from that, if I don't feel like drawing, and then I just take a nap mah.
Wow, that's perfect.
Simple solutions.
I like that. That's a very, very easy one.
But nowadays I scared to take naps because every time I take a nap, like the numbers go up even higher.
When you take a nap, you wake up, right? Something happens, you're like, what happened now?
Yeah. Then I have to that has to go inside the next chapter.
Every time you sleep, you wake up to even more things to draw.
So sleeping is bad for me.
I think it goes without saying that Malaysia, we've been on a steady decline since 1957.
Oh shit.
Okay. More importantly, maybe the past 2020, 2021, right? And I remember just at the turn of the century, the turn of the decade, everyone was like 2020, new year, new beginnings, new me, right? Horizons were bright. At least for the first month of 2020. But look where we are today, and I don't want to make too much comments about that. As people who have to project a fun and positive and joyful sort of like works of art or creativity that we put out, or the content that we put out, what's the inside really feeling like? And I think that's something that we want to dive into a bit more today, right? Because I mean, all of us here, we create in some form or another, whether it's for pure entertainment purposes or whether it's also for work that we do. It's still, the end goal is still to educate, to entertain people, right? How do we wrestle with that insanity that sometimes we're not happy, but we still gotta make happy things? That's a loaded one.
Yeah,
No,
I can
I think
literally
you're
see
the best
the.
one to start off.
I
dude.
can literally see the dot bubbles above.
Yeah.
Because I think we've talked about it a couple of times, and I think we're quite vocal on social media as well, right? It's not the happiest of times. It's definitely not lah. To say the least, we're in a time where people are expected to die, you know? And I think social media is a very weird addition to our generation because social media only likes to show you the good stuff, like the happy stuff in life.
Yeah.
Like you're expected to show the great, the bling, the blam, the glam, you know? And then suddenly it's a time where, guys, it's actually bad, you know? People are dropping like flies, just saying. And there's a certain expectation of people on social media to always propagate good, you know, to always propagate hope and joy. And how do you feel like, you know, what's your personal thoughts about it? I mean, yeah, it's fun to draw. It's fun to do what you love. But do you feel it like it's this social dissonance or like this dilemma in your head about, damn, everything's going to shit. But I guess let's just make fun of it, you know? Where's your stance on that?
So I know that whenever you see the news every day,
Yeah.
it seems very like depressing. And it does affect me lah when I see them and I feel there's no end in sight.
Yeah.
And then I felt that like, yeah, let's just try to make it more lighthearted so we don't feel so down. And just draw it, just draw it in the funniest way possible. But at the same time, I try not to like deviate too much from the reality of things, and so that people can remember that we are in terrible times.
Yeah.
But at the same time, don't lose hope lah. You know, there are things to live.
Which is, I
forward
feel,
to,
I feel that's the constant theme of your comics, right? Like even we were just also talking about this that because you know we're talking about people in power or certain situations, right? Of course, you know we want to be still as respectful as we can be to the people and the situation, but also not going away too far from the truth. But I like that in all situations, right? No matter what has happened, good or bad decisions, right? There is still what can we do next? What do the heroes or what do the characters do when the new bad guys come in, right? Like it feels it honestly, the one that hit me the most recently was the Delta variant, right? And then you drew this like pink color, purple color, like feminine figure coming in, right? And there was one frame where it was a top-down fisheye shot, right? Dude, that made me feel like the sense of dread. I'm like, actually, yeah. Even there's
like
more
the local POV, right?
Yeah,
the one
there's more and more like bad guys popping up. Like a year ago, right? There's only one green dude. Now there's like 3. And then there's like some other like diarrhea fillers on the side also. Like, but now there are 3, and I'm just like, oh my lord, actually, it just does feel like where's the hope, right? Like how far more till we get to the part we win? And I don't know.
Personally, do you feel dread? Do you feel down in this time? Like separate from your comics, like you as a person right now, where are you at?
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess because I kind of like live alone. Yeah, so there was like no social contact. You know, like I crave when I crave human interaction lah. So like I'll just like message some friends every once in a while, and then when Minghan and Mingyu like, hey, you want to do podcast? I'm like, yes, now. That kind of feeling. I think there's like even some points where I just like I cook fried chicken and I message Mingyu like, hey, you want fried chicken? I got fried chicken. And like I just wanted to give him fried chicken, you know.
I mean, your life want to
see Mingyu.
Your life took a crazy 180, right? Because right before the MCO, you were on like this spree of mountain climbing, diving, hiking. You know, it was as outdoors.
I feel like you went up Everest like 6 times or something, right? I'm not sure.
Not Everest.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
close to
how do you, I mean, for lack of a better term, right, I don't know whether it's something you go through. Like even for us, like I personally feel it very hard to make jokes during a time where it's very sensitive or people are very down because you know it's that state of like, yeah, sure, we are definitely, you know, we want to entertain, right? Like how what is that drive for you? What is the drive other than keeping up, you know, with the current times to really try and make someone laugh or make someone smile when everything is telling you otherwise?
I guess when I draw my comics, I always keep it in mind that I'm doing it to a certain extent. I'm doing it for myself as well.
There you go.
Yeah, because I know that I may feel like shit. I feel like the numbers going up. People are not. I see like viral videos of people not following SOPs.
Yeah.
And I just feel very hopeless. And I just when I draw, like I said, it's like a process for me. Like it's like my coping mechanism.
Right.
So when I draw, I always feel like, okay, look, I gotta keep myself happy. So cartoons are the way for me, man. Like just draw it in an anime style, and hopefully the heroes win. You know.
Yeah.
And try to keep it in a way, because you know anime stories is always like the bad guy is always has a upper end, but eventually they are defeated.
Yeah.
So I've tried to keep that outlook lah. So I try to translate that into my drawings to keep myself happy, do it for myself.
Yeah.
At the same time, in hopes that when I release the artwork, someone else would see and they feel the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you had times where you just felt like, you know, screw this lah, I'm done, or I don't feel up to drawing today, you know? Is that a thing for you, or it's really just like, you know, it's something you're passionate about, you look forward to doing?
There are times that I just don't feel like doing it. If I wish that I had this, I'm like superhuman levels. I'm just like, yeah, let's go every day, hype, let's do it, you know. But no lah, it's just not true lah. Like certain days, I would just like lie down and I just like, yeah, just not today lah. I just can't lah.
I mean, it's normal lah, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's human lah, right?
Yeah.
But what do you think makes a difference though? You know, because I think everyone's in this situation we're in, right? What do you think makes a difference for you? Because everyone has a right. Technically, right, this is a very weird time in life where I think you do have a right to feel down. You know, you do have a right to feel like shit and like, you know, leave me here, take me now, Lord, that kind of thing, right? What do you think? What do you think sets you apart from people who just like, you know, it's okay, I just want to wallow in sadness? What is your drive for that? Do you have a drive for that?
I don't know, man. Because maybe it's the thought that I will never see the ending to my story.
Oh, you want it done?
Like,
you want it completed?
I want it done. I want to finish COVID Ball Z, the series. I want to see the ending.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I understand that feeling, like as a fan of anime and manga, when your artist just stops drawing and you just like, what? I invested so much time into this series.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to see how it happens.
Yeah.
So I have that feeling as well. I don't want people to feel like that when they read my comics, right? So I just like, you know, I have to draw this. It has to go. You have to keep moving, and I'll just tell myself, take it one step at a time. At one point, last time it would just take me like 7 days to do one chapter very fast, and then it gets very tiring sometimes. So I'll just like, you know what, today just draw one page. One page can be, you know, you just plot along and just do one page, and you'll be okay.
So so it's about setting goals.
Yeah, I have to set mini goals every day.
Yeah.
Last time I was like, all right, 10 pages one day, let's go. Woo! And then, like,
wow, that's nuts,
like eventually it took a toll on me lah. And
that's mad.
I felt I was going crazy at times.
10 pages a day is insane. Oh my god.
Which is actually what Ernest used to do. So way back in the day, we would play PS4 to late at night, and then we would go for chicken rice the next day. And then when we were like, hey, let's go for coffee or mama after this, or let's play games, then Ernest would be like, sorry guys, I need to do 20 pages today to finish up
I
my
remember
book.
that. That was like the days of the back to school.
The
back to school novels, right?
The discipline was insane. Like per day, this guy had to crank out like 10 to 20 pages to meet deadlines, right? And it was, and I guess maybe that's also something that creatives have to deal with, right? Aside from doing it for ourselves, doing it for the people, the discipline element is so big. And for me, like, I mean, all of us here, we make different stuff. And in this season, so Ernest is doing COVID Ball Z. Minghan has been streaming the whole Pokemon journey. And also now he's been spearheading the Duduk Rumah Eats on the Mingting and Takeaway table. For me, I've been dabbling with Reels on Instagram.
They're awesome, man.
In the past month, like started in June. And the simple thing I said to myself was, I want to try to post every day in June, because a couple of reasons are. Number one is like my Instagram have just been doing shit for the past 2 years.
Yeah, I don't think people realize that Mingyu literally does not post.
I didn't post. I was the worst influencer. Yeah. And then 2020, I never post anything. Like you can scroll 2 times and then you're in 2019 already, you know. That's how bad it was, you know.
Okay, I didn't notice
Yeah,
that.
it's so bad. And then brands still wanted to engage me. I'm like, wow, guys, let me sort out my shit first. But I told myself in June, I was like, you know what? Let's just try posting something up. And the thing is, right, I was thinking, okay, maybe I should just try taking normal pictures like around the house or whatever. But I'm not a pretty girl. Like I cannot look good in photos in the evening, even if I bought the evening light sun lamp, you know, like that shit won't make me look prettier. So what can I do? So I said, you know what? I never got into TikTok. Let's make Instagram my new TikTok. And I just started making reels, and it's been ongoing to today ever since. And it's about 2 months now. So I'm quite proud of myself. Because there are some days I don't want to post shit.
So since you both are on this topic, right? Do you think that sometimes an unexpected joy in this time is just accomplishing these small goals day by day? Does it bring you joy?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, because everyone thinks that joy has to be this top of the mountain, you know, stand and do the Westlife pose on top of like Santorini kind of like joy. Or like, you know, you go to Korea, you know, and like eat good food, right? Like, could the definition of joy in this time just be like getting through a small task today? Does that bring you joy?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like a feeling of joy. It's more like a feeling of accomplishment. Like when you just done something, and that's why like some certain days I feel like crap because I haven't done like I felt I didn't feel productive. I didn't complete a certain task that I wanted to, and I feel like crap. But I will actually allow myself to feel like, okay, today isn't a good day. Today is a shit day, and you were gaming the whole day, or you were sleeping the whole day. Take that L for the day. Like, okay, you know what? Every fighter has to lose certain times.
Yeah,
so,
I like that, dude.
So so when I feel like most invigorated when I complete certain tasks, and I try to tell myself like, you know what? Try to see like side quests in your life. Like you have the main quest, then you have all
so
the
good.
mini side quests.
Let's talk about that.
So sometimes, yeah. So if you can't finish the main quest, try to do the side quest first to level up a little bit more, get more gold, get more XP, get better gear. I mean, that's not how it happens here.
Let's just try and dumb that down for people, right? Real quick. I really like the fact that you said main quest and side quest. For you guys who don't play games, the main quest is what your quote-unquote purpose in the game is, right? There's the main storyline, and you are supposed to go from the horrible slave to like the rescuer of the queen or king, right? And what in the world are side quests, you know? Well, I like the theme that we're on today. Side quests are random things that are put into the game that have nothing, almost nothing, seemingly nothing to do with the main quest, right? Like, you're supposed to save the princess or the prince. The side quest is like, hey, go make 3 loaves of bread and sell it to the village, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, go catch 10 chickens. And
correct, but the side quests actually make your character stronger. They give you more stuff. And I think, right, that joy in this time, we're in a very big time of side questing. You get what I mean, right? Because the main quest is not available, you know. The main quest, we need to travel to the next island, but all the boats are closed, that kind of thing, right? And we're all stuck in this really time where everyone is like finding a side quest. And you're right, that accomplishment you do, even though it has nothing to do with, like, let's say you're an accountant and suddenly you need to go and sell, you know, nasi lemak. Like, that's like almost similar to a side quest. You have nothing to do with your main quest, but racking up the accomplishments for all these random things you do to enjoy the game, to go and, you know, take a break, that accomplishment does bring a certain fulfillment. And the fulfillment does bring a certain joy, right?
Yeah.
And I think people underestimate, like I would say, like, it's quite counterintuitive if you guys think, right? Like, why in the world during this time where it's so difficult, I want to go and find goals and, you know, do work and discipline myself and just imply stress to my life where it's already so stressful. Are you a follower of structure, Ernest? Do you structure your days and timetable your days?
Last time I don't, but because of the limitations on a daily basis, you end up having a structure in the end. Like, there's a certain sequence of things that the moment I open my eyes, and I will say, okay, these are the things that I need to do today, and I try to keep it into like mini bites. Don't overwhelm myself. Like, maybe contohnya, I'll just wake up like, okay, today COVID ball, maybe 1 page. You know, then maybe write 1 script for the client. You know, that kind of things, and stagger it down. And then, like, even though you don't complete everything, but at least there's some that is completed. you know. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be like work related. It can be like, okay, so today take out the trash. You know, that kind of thing, you know, even it's so small and like, oh, wash the dishes. And even it's like sometimes it's just so small, but just when you done it, just imagine like side quest complete.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
like 10 EXP. Then like, okay, I got 10 XP. Yeah. Then, so and sometimes it also get tough that way where you just feel like, I don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
And I always trick myself. I'll just trick myself, hey, look, you only take 2 minutes. I follow the 2-minute rule. So like you only take 2 minutes. If you cannot complete this in 2 minutes, then something's really wrong. You just take out the trash, it takes way less than 2 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
Then just take out the trash, come back, oh, side quest completed. Wash the dishes, okay, maybe like less than 10 minutes, wash the dishes.
Right.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So I try to trick myself in that sense. Like, find the small, easy task to complete first if you feel that you need to complete. If it helps improve your day.
Ming, you did talk about like these days, you need a structure, right? Like you wake up at a certain time. Do you feel like the structure helps with like quote unquote happiness in, you know, in this time where where everyone's kind of like separated, excuse me, from each other?
I feel it does help quite a bit because like when you have a structure or a pattern that you can fall back to and follow, it frees up your mind to do, I guess, other happier things. And that's why we were all like so like when we had started to work from home, a lot of people were like, what do I do now? I don't know what to do. I'm stressed out, and then there's a lot of burnout. And even now, I think people are very burnt out. But I think what we have in place now is that it's been a year. We've had time to adjust and figure out like what is working from home life like, what is like staying at home like. And I think just being able to do that gives you more space to be like, now that I'm home so much, or I have this so much time and I know what my day is going to look like, I can start doing things that are slightly more beneficial, like in the side quest conversation, right? You can do things that are more beneficial, more fun to you, that help to improve your quality of life. You know, I think there's this funny tweet that was going around and like, hands up if you are still in this COVID situation, the pandemic, and have not bought a puppy, like bought an air fryer, or like, you know, invested in crypto, right? If you have, like, people have just been doing these things, right? And I think it's good also because it's empowering your life, you know, you're not just doing nothing. And so I feel maybe that's why it's also good to have some sort of structure. For me, at least, I know that I'm going to exercise like either before or after dinner. So then in the morning, I don't have to scramble and be like, am I going to wake up too late for my exercise? Do I eat breakfast, or like, what do I do, you know? So I think that just helps me free up my mind a bit. But I don't know. I think it's for us, especially because, you know, we create, right, for a living. It's a little bit harder because creating comes from like, it's a very personal process. It comes from inside. You have to feel, okay, I'm sounding like a brat right here, but you have to feel like you want to create, because if you don't, it shows. And I will point out a handful of things that I've done in my reels that I'm like, I know this one is the day I don't feel like doing it. I'm sure, Ernest, you've had days where you're like, I don't really feel like drawing, but I'll do one, but like, I don't feel like it, right? And I think same thing goes for Minghan and even Jeremy as well. There are days where, as creatives, right, you don't have it, but then the discipline and the structure and I think that's why it's good to have a schedule. You fall back to it and you know that it's the minimum, right? It's the 1 page. It's that 1% of improvement. Yeah. Minghan, what about you? What do you think about this one?
I suck at structure. I absolutely hate structure. I feel structure is a communist regimen implemented in our lives.
Take it easy.
Sorry. Yeah. You could say I'm an extremist. I don't know. I think for the life of me, I do have a structure in my head, but I think what really is quite joyful in times like this is finding new things to do. I don't know about you guys, but because, you know, we have our day jobs, quote unquote, right? But I feel like it's the same joy like maybe you felt when, you know, you started hiking, right, Ernest? Or like suddenly, you know, this switch into like super outdoor Bear Grylls men versus wild Ernest, right? And then I felt that like the very interesting new thing I discovered about myself in this past 1.5 years is I broaden my definition of creating. Like I find joy in making something new happen. Like it doesn't have to be a video, it doesn't have to be a script. building a community, building a new random piece of content, trying something out. Like for me, I don't know about you, right? If you guys feel the same way, but the joy comes in just making something happen. I don't have to see the results. Like you want to try something new, and then it just happens. I don't care how much or how well that thing performs. Like the joy is in making something happen that I am passionate about. I have to say if I'm not feeling it and I'm forced to do it, there's definitely no joy there. Just being real. But I found a lot of joy in like learning mini new skills. Like we are doing one small piece of content as well that requires us to do new skills. Like I have found a lot of joy in just learning about a new culture or learning about a new community in our community or learning about random things like people who love shoes or people who love hype beast toys or something like that, right? I do find a lot of joy in that. And recently I found a lot of new joy like just surfing Twitch and finding new Malaysians who have been there, and I like randomly intrude into their server and like, yo, what's up? That kind of thing, Like there's a lot of joy in finding new things for me, and I'm very glad that my joy is separate from the result of that task. I think we've been talking a lot about joy and stuff like that. One thing I did want to talk about when it came to Ernest, right, is your side quest. And the side quest of that side quest, which is actually a main quest, And you know what the main quest is? I know Ernest is just like question mark right now.
Yeah, I'm like, what's this quest
going? The main quest in your side quest, right, dude? Like I just thought we just segued for a bit because we talk about COVID Ball Z. We're talking about speaking up about things. And your comic, I always told people like, this is a big segue. I always told people that I think COVID Ball Z is the most accurate historical history book we have of the current time, dude, compared to any other history book that has been re-edited by who knows what publisher out there, And it's the whole thing about, we were talking about this before the podcast started, right? You start each day like, yep, this is the day I'm going to jail, click. Like, I would say that, like, we're talking about joy in darkest times. Like, I feel that what you do is also speaking up. You highlight a lot of things that are happening that people usually don't want to talk about, right? Like, why do you do this? Like, what is your approach to this? Why?
I don't know, man. Sometimes this kind of news, I have like strong feelings about it when I see it happening, and it's frustrating. And I know it frustrates a lot of people as well when I go on Twitter. When you go on Twitter, when you go on Facebook, you see people all like mentioning about it. So I feel like, let's bring this to light a little bit, but in a light-hearted way, so that people know that this is happening and people can take considerations and measures to to act upon it lah. Like, oh, cases are high, that kind of thing, or like, oh, there's a nasi lemak asshole right now. So things are like that. I feel like I just want to bring it up, and so that we don't forget lah. And the best way
I love that.
And the best way to tell them is through cartoons and anime and manga lor.
I'm not gonna lie, right, dude. Your books, I'm gonna get the full sealed set, and when Haley turns 10, I'm gonna throw it into her school bag, and I'm like, no, this is what you lived through. Just saying. Everything is real. The mountains, the fire effects, the muscles, everything was 100% real.
Everything was
our prime minister 100%. Was jacked.
Dude, he's jacked. We have basically like Terry Crews Kala,
8-pack politicians. Seriously, every single one of them.
That's the dream, bro.
But I thought I wanted to say that because it will be we're not doing it justice if we don't say that COVID Ball actually speaks up about a lot, right? And you found a very interesting balance in like talking about things people usually want to keep silent about. Because you cannot separate the political stuff with from COVID Ball, because there's obviously a lot of you said it like if Malaysian politicians were enemy, that kind of thing, right? And I think the roots are found in that. And I just want to say that speaking up during this time, like I think the most recent community effort that everyone has done is how fast everyone reacted to Nasi Lemak guy. I would say I felt that, wow, I've never seen such a swift kick in the ass for justice, seriously. Like, I don't know what happened, but everyone was so ready to jump on board and bring justice to this guy, And
but he was being a dick.
Yeah, he was. I think our tolerance for this level of things like just not there anymore, right?
All-time low already, bro. We cannot die already. I love it.
Like,
I think it's
It's
great.
like everyone's staying home, everyone's following SOP, everyone's wearing masks, and you have this dickhead walking around without a mask and like scolding people for not following SOP.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the one not following SOP,
and then he scold
scolding
people for pointing it out,
Yeah.
Wow, piang,
Right?
seriously.
Who are you?
I love the
everyone's doing their part.
I love the part he threatened. You going to call police, is it? Really call police, come on! Wow, I tell you.
That's gold, man.
I tell you, and I learned very new things from this guy. Apparently everyone, it's an offense for physically threatening someone in public.
Yeah.
So I did
I
not
didn't know that
To
also.
me, it's a really
I
it's an
didn't know that.
opportunity to learn new things. I would say. Really, I feel it's great. It's great.
to
We
insight,
learn from other people's mistakes, which is
Truly.
great.
which is great.
Yeah.
Truly, we all know now.
Sejarah is like that, right?
Oh
Yeah,
my
history
god! But
That's how
yeah,
history happens. Yeah.
Speaking of, I think in this time, like I think just this small side quest to talking about your comics. I feel that everyone, if there's anything you can take away from the comics, is like guys, read it and know how to speak up properly. Of course, like Ernest say, every day wake up and pray so you don't go to jail, because we live in that kind of time. Just say But this is the change we need. This is the change we need. If one person didn't speak up about Nasi Lemak guy, 2 people wouldn't speak up. If 2 people didn't speak up, 4 people wouldn't speak up. And when more and more people get into that movement, right, things change. Things happen.
Yeah.
Idiots go to jail. People who don't wear masks now suddenly need to wear masks and make joke. Oh, that was priceless. I just want to say that. But yeah, I don't know about you, man, but seeing you speak up in your comics brings joy, lah. To me,
Yeah, it really has been. Ernest. I think
I'm
I
glad
think,
that is,
Yeah.
it's that way for you. Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, it's not just us. I think there are thousands of people who read it, right? Who your comics, as real as it is, right, about the situation, has at least helped them get distracted of something else, right? It's given them a break from their everyday life, and I think that's honestly one of the most rewarding aspects of creating content, that people are able to enjoy it and they thank you for it. Like, is there anything that you feel, you know what? No, dude. Say something to your audience, to your fans and people who have been reading since day one, or even those people who have just jumped in, right, and stumbled and binge read all of the episodes. Like, what do you want to say to them, dude?
Oh, thanks for reading, and I hope you enjoy it.
Visit
But
my
if you
Shopee.
really want to enjoy it, yes, visit my Shopee and buy the books.
Please, yes.
They are available on Shopee, and they include chapters that you never seen online. The extra bonus
correct.
chapters,
Got hidden
bonus
stuff
yeah.
there.
There are
love
bonus
it.
stuff inside the books.
I'm gonna go and buy the books now. I actually have not actually.
And one out of 100 copies has Ernest's blood signature on one of the books.
okay.
So randomized goods inside there.
RNG.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my goodness. But Ernest, thanks so much for spending your afternoon with us. I know you're a
Hey,
busy
no
man.
worries, man.
It's so nice to just sit down and talk about life with you for a bit, man. It's been such a long time. I cannot even help me, man.
Yeah.
Help me.
I'll still give you your fried chicken.
Yes,
That's
we
great,
will make
yes.
that happen.
I will perfect it first. The last batch was a bit salty, so
All right.
let me perfect my fried chicken making skills
Oh
first.
my goodness. But dude, I hope you get some rest over this weekend as well.
Yeah.
No rest.
No rest.
Every
No
time
rest for
Ernest
the
rests, got
rest,
something
no
else to draw when he wake up one. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like that
It's
guy.
a constant nightmare for me.
Hey, you know what? You should
waking
make,
nightmare.
Trauma.
You should-
Now you want sleep, so trauma.
I swear, dude,
Yeah.
you should make your character that guy from Hero No Academia, where he opens his eyes and then he nullifies people's powers. But the minute you sleep, then you open your eyes
Oh
again.
wow, that's a terrible superpower there. Messed up superpower.
So everyone,
Hey,
when
but-
Ernest sleeps, the country goes to shit. Just saying, Ernest better sleep.
So Ernest, you cannot sleep with it. The man who cannot sleep. But for
more
everyone else, if you guys want to get caught up with all of Ernest's latest content, please head over to his Facebook page. Bro, don't like that, lah, bro. Or just follow him on Instagram for all the latest updates of what's going on in this sexy man's life. We're currently
yeah.
at chapter 43, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And-
Book is volume 3. Working on
nice.
volume 4 now.
And-
hopefully it's out by next month.
If you guys
I
want an
think-
even closer look
Perfect.
at Ernest's life, let us know. We'll give you his address so you can peer into his window every morning. Ernest, let's wrap it
If
up.
they know where I live, they know where you live.
That's true,
So
that's
That's bad for you.
That's also
This
true.
week-
That's also true. That's also true.
This week's song recommendation is from my brother from another mother, Sam Kim. He's got a brand new one. This one's called These Walls, and it sounds a little bit like this. Wow, what a song! And this is like, what's going on? It's all in post, bro. It's all in post. Don't worry.
Put it in post.
Am I listening to this properly? Oh man, but thank you so much for listening in, guys. If you guys enjoyed today's podcast, I'm pretty sure you enjoyed the rest of the topics that we've been talking about this past few weeks. Get caught up with all of it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're available also on YouTube. Just check out the Takeaway Table and you will find our podcast. Also, if you want to join our Discord community, we're currently at 2,000 over active people.
Oh.
Lovely people. It's discord.gg/the takeaway table. Discord.gg/the takeaway table.
Yeah.
Again, you guys already know what we do, but if you don't, we play games, sing songs, have fun.
Yeah, and Ernest,
I think we're gonna have some good stuff
yeah,
rolling on the next
Ernest is
month
going to
as
come and teach you how to draw anime on,
Yes,
on
we're
the Discord
gonna
server.
play Pictionary with Ernest with the community.
Yeah, man, that'd be fun.
We should do that. I think that's
Let's
worth
do
a
it.
shot.
Yeah.
But thanks so much for being on the podcast today, Ernest. Jeremy was here the entire time as well, but
Didn't say shit.
didn't say much.
You all spoke really good words, so you took the words from my mouth.
Oh, I just love taking things from your mouth, Jeremy. One of my favorite hobbies. As usual, guys, stay safe, stay sane, have a great week ahead, and we're just tiptoeing into August. Bulan Kemerdekaan. Let's see if good things happen.
All right, take care,
Hard to
everyone.
say.
Take care,
Hard to
everyone.
say. Thanks, guys. Signing out. See you guys.
See you guys next time.